It's no secret that EA's latest Battlefield installment, Battlefield 2042, is pretty trash. Even with a year's worth of further development, it still feels like it's largely missing the mark. EA recently put together a blog post detailing the future of the franchise, notably confirming that the series would continue with both multiplayer and single-player experiences. There was a lot of waffle and not much concrete information. The truth is, Battlefield has been missing the mark for some time now, and needs to make major changes to compete in a modern gaming environment. I'm sure the devs have their opinions on what needs to change. I think the real problem is that the sandbox experience needs to go. I've been playing Battlefield since Battlefield 2 and took a particular interest in Battlefield 2142, racking up many thousands of hours. In that game I played with a group of guys who would regularly squad up, communicate and work together to win games. These guys, by the way, I met on a server while playing the game. Squads accommodated 6 players. You could only spawn on the squad leader. The squad leader could place markers on the map and had unique squad leader abilities. You could leave, join and create squads freely, and there were unique community servers you could become a regular on. If you've played even a couple hours of 2042, you'll know you can't make, leave or join a squad, you can't pick a server, and at the end of every game, you're booted off the server you're playing on and forced to queue up again for a new one. For some reason, 2042 makes it as hard as possible to meet new players, become a regular on a server you like, or have any kind of squad-based gameplay at all.
Couldn't imagine a better lineup of ass kickers than this.
Now while this is a glaring and frankly insulting oversight for 2042, it's something that has been present to some degree in some of the newer Battlefield titles and not the complete fix we're looking for the franchise. What these differences do highlight is a change in direction. Pre-Battlefield 3, including everything from Bad Company 2 backwards, while the franchise did offer the experience to fight on a multifaceted battlefield where vehicle and infantry combat was accessible to the player, the focus was not a constant hunt for the tragic infection that is Battlefield moments, and instead was focused around the player and their squad's contribution to the battle as a whole. It was much more of a "I'm a cog in the larger battle" as opposed to "I am the protagonist of the battle." From Battlefield 3 onwards, the focus became how can we give the individual player chances at these crazy, only in Battlefield moments. The moments they're referring to being something along the lines of jumping out of your jet to RPG the jet behind you, to then jump back in your jet. I'm sure an exciting interaction, but a meaningless part of the overall sandbox experience. And this is the problem with the sandbox genre. It's meaningless. The quality of any game, everything from arcades to board games, is not based on how much you can do, it's about how much you can't do. It's the rules that make the game fun. If all the pieces in chess could move wherever they wanted, I'm sure the chess pieces would have a good time, be it fleeting, but the game would be terrible. The beauty of chess is beating the opposing player using the tactics available to you with the pieces you have. If every piece was a queen, you'd quickly get bored and the game would fizzle into the annals of history. Modern Battlefield is chess with 64 queens aside, and it feels pointless. Where are the rules? In older Battlefields, only being able to spawn on the squad leader didn't make the game worse because you could do less. It made the game better because it put value on a squad leader and a good squad who could keep the leader alive. Having a stamina bar and being unable to sprint forever didn't make the game feel laborious. It elevated the traversing experience because you had to actually think about your movement and understand that sprinting is a tool that good players could use to win more battles than worse players. Restrictions like this open up the game to a little thing called tactics, the very antithesis of the sandbox, and the unique element that elevates games such as League of Legends, Counter-Strike and Valorant into long-term staples of the gaming industry. You see, with tactical opportunities comes skill expression, moments within a game where the smarter player can use their skills and their squad's abilities to outmaneuver and outplay other squads. Maps were not complete chaos where the only skill expression is how fast you can click heads. And while I'll admit some maps were better than others, there were plenty of opportunities to learn maps, to understand angles and know what moves you could and couldn't make, directly avoiding the feeling you get in modern battlefields where it feels like you just get shot constantly from a million angles you couldn't possibly hope to account for because the maps are built for a sandbox experience, not a squad-based experience. But I hear you, I'm an old man. The kids want high-octane run-and-gun solo experiences. not this squad-based thinking man's content. Okay, let's be real, the kids don't know what they want, but I'm willing to facilitate it. In Battlefield 5, they introduced a little thing called the Battlefield Battle Royale. In this game mode, like any Battle Royale, you dropped onto the map with your 4 boys, foraged for loot and killed other players while slowly being constricted into a smaller and smaller play area. The game mode had sandbox elements, there were tanks, there were transport vehicles, there was even a helicopter or two. It had all the telltale elements of the sandbox experience, except it wasn't a sandbox, and it was amazing. Yes, the loot system needed some work, and yes, it died pretty fast, but if they'd released it as a free-to-play instead of expecting someone to pay $60 for Battlefield 5 just for the Battle Royale, I'm telling you, this would have been massive. This is a future Battlefield I could see accommodating for both sides. This has run and gun elements, it's relatively fast paced, you're still going to get those Battlefield moments the kids are after, but it's also about squad play, about map movement, about using terrain and positioning to your advantage, about fitting your playstyle to the environment around you and the limited weapons you've managed to loot. Imagine a developed version of Firestorm, not you Hazard Zone, with modern tanks, attack helicopters, JDAMs, all lootable across the map. Battlefield was made for Battle Royale. This is just one possible solution. The reality is, whatever the development could look like, Battlefield needs to change. The age of the aimless sandbox experience needs to be put to bed, replaced by squad mechanics and actual rule-enforced combat, where you deliberately can't do anything and everything, where there are limits, where the player is confined and has to operate within the strict bounds they've been presented. Are you a fan of the sandbox? Do you long for eternal chaos? Maybe all you really want is Battlefield in space? Let me know in the comments so I can fight you. If you're feeling frisky, why not drop a like and subscribe? Maybe take the argument to your friends and turn them into enemies. Other than that, all the best and have a great day.